Imagine a sport where there are no breaks, no time to think, just the corner. And you, this is Speedway, the world of shale racing, a sport that has been thrilling fans for over a century, from Australia all the way to Europe. In this video, we'll walk through the entire history of Speedway, from the first dusty oval tracks to today's modern methanol-fueled racing machines. We'll revisit the legendary champions and meet the stars of the modern era. We'll show how the tracks evolved, how the bikes became faster and more extreme, and how a unique fan culture emerged, one that fills entire stadiums today. In Poland, where Speedway is a national passion. In Scandinavia, disciplined yet fiercely loyal crowds. And in the United Kingdom, where race days feel like family festivals. Speedway is more than motorsport. It's the art of fearless control without brakes. Join us and discover how Speedway became one of the most unique and most exhilarating racing disciplines in the world. The Speedway story began on December 15, 1923. In Australia, at the Maitland Showground on a dusty oval, where the very first official sliding motorcycle race was held. This unique, brakeless style, within a few years had conquered the whole world. The bikes back then, like the Harley-Davidson P-Shooter, already ran with no rear brake, just one gear, and spectacular sliding turns that amazed the crowd. By 1928, Europe got its first taste of the sport. Just outside London, at High Beach, the first British race was held, where fans stood at the trackside and even along the inner curve. Clubs quickly sprang up. The Bellevue Aces, racing every year since 1928, became the world's oldest continuously operating speedway team. In the 1930s, Wembley Stadium drew crowds of 100,000. It hosted the legendary individual World Championship finals. The first world champion, Lionel Van Praagh, crowned in 1936. World War II interrupted the series, but in 1949, racing resumed, and a new generation of heroes emerged. Freddie Williams, Ronnie Moore, Barry Briggs, and the sports-defining figure, Ove Fundin, who with 5 world titles became the greatest of the 50s and 60s. At the end of the 60s, a remarkable talent appeared. New Zealand's Ivan Mauger. He won 3 consecutive world championships, something never repeated, with 6 titles in total. He reached the pinnacle of Speedway's classic era.
Just upon the outside of him, Nigel Majors back in 3rd place. And now the England pair must try and team ride to keep the lively Kiwis out, and that's a fabulous picture of them.
The 70s and 80s were defined by the Danish Golden Age. Ole Olsen, Hans Nielsen, and Eric Gundersen dominated the field. The sport's popularity exploded. World finals were held in massive stadiums, with electric, unforgettable atmospheres. In 1995, the modern era began. The Speedway Grand Prix series was launched, where full season's points now decide the world champion. During this era, Tony Rickardson became a true superstar, matching Mauger's record with 6 world titles.
Talk about doing it the hard way. You certainly did that today.
The 2000s and 2010s brought new heroes. Jason Crump, Nicky Peterson, Greg Hancock, and Tomasz Golub, all shaping the sport's evolution. Greg Hancock made history, becoming world champion at the unprecedented age of 41. Tomasz Golub claimed Poland's first SGP-era gold medal.
And remember, if he wins this race, it'll be 6 points.
From the late 2010s, a new era emerged. Bartosz Zmarzlik rose to dominance. The Polish icon collected world titles one after another, bringing fresh energy to the Speedway world. In 2023, the sport celebrated its 100th anniversary in style, with major returning events, the historic Speedway World Cup, and the new SGP for Youth World Championship. By 2025, Speedway continues to thrive. In Poland, the PGE Ekstraliga is the strongest league in the world, with tens of thousands, even 50,000 fans attending. In Scandinavia and Great Britain, stable club systems remain strong, modern technology, global broadcasts, and rising young talents keep the Speedway flame burning bright. And the story is far from over. It's just the beginning of the next 100 years.
The evolution of Speedway motorcycles, full story. 21st century Speedway motorcycles are incredible machines, with 500 cubic centimeters engines, brakeless designs, a single fixed gear, and so fast that they can even leave a Formula One car behind at the start. But how have these motorcycles evolved over the past 100 years? The history of Speedway motorcycles goes back more than a century. These 500cc brakeless, single-gear machines now deliver incredible speed and precision, but in the beginning, things were much simpler. One. The early era, 1920s. Tracks first saw simple, street motorcycles converted for racing. The first characteristics: single-cylinder engines, minimal bodywork, lightweight frames, and some models still had rear brakes. The sport at this time discovered the sliding corner technique, forming the distinctive Speedway style. 1923, Harley-Davidson Pea-Shooter. The American Harley-Davidson Pea-Shooter was the first, highly influential Speedway motorcycle. American riders brought the bike to Australia in the early 1920s, where the sport was born. This bike was fast but simple, and it became the central figure in races during the early years. 1928, Douglas. The British Douglas motorcycle had a 3-speed gearbox and a low seat, which allowed for spectacular foot-dragging turns. The Autocycle Union required the use of a rear brake, but it was soon removed as the sport grew in popularity across Europe. 1928, Rudge. The Rudge 500cc single-cylinder engine was lighter and more compact, and practically laid the foundation for the modern Speedway prototype. Its 4-valve design came into production during the summer. 1929, Sunbeam. The Sunbeam DTR was short-lived, but an innovative racing machine, appearing as a competitor to Douglas and Rudge. 1930, Jap. JP motorcycles brought rapid development. The new prototypes delivered more horsepower, and soon became an iconic logo in the early years of the sport.
The first specialized motorcycles, 1930 to 1950. New, stiffer frames appeared, and brakes disappeared for deliberate weight reduction. Rudge and JP motorcycles dominated the tracks, and riders realized high torque plus low weight equals faster drifting. (1934) Harley-Davidson CAC. Joe Petrali, the Harley-Davidson factory rider, created the CAC model, of which only 12 to 20 units were made. This bike remains one of the rarest Speedway machines to this day. 1949 Esso. The Czechoslovak Esso was the first local Speedway motorcycle, which later merged with Jawa in 1964. Initially fitted with JP engines, they later developed their own designs. Jawa and ESO era, 1950 to 1970. Czechoslovak manufacturers rose to prominence, reliability and performance improved. Single-gear transmissions, reinforced frames, and better carburetors appeared. These bikes were already designed specifically for shale tracks, unusable on the streets. 1952 Rotrax. The British Rotrax became famous for its hand-built frames and JP engines. The nickel-bronze welding technique allowed extremely strong, yet lightweight frames. 1964 Jawa. Jawa became one of the leading manufacturers by acquiring the Czechoslovak Esso with its own engines and frames. Jawa motorcycles remain top performers in the Speedway world to this day. 1970s Westlake. Thanks to Harry Westlake's developments, British riders won world championship titles. The cylinder heads of these bikes provided outstanding performance for the era. The methanol revolution from the 1960s. Switching from gasoline to pure methanol was a massive step forward in speedway. More oxygen, more power, a natural cooling effect, and stable combustion on shale tracks. Engine performance rose from about 40 to 45 horsepower up to 55, even 60 horsepower. GM and Jawa dominance from the 1980s to today 1978, gone. Don Gaudin's engines became market leaders through the 80s and 90s, reaching the top with the legendary performances of Hans Nielsen. 1979, GM. Giuseppe Marzotto. GM engines created by Giuseppe Marzotto quickly became the most sought-after power units. In 1983 and 84, World Championship titles were won on GM engines, confirming their dominance in the sport. Giuseppe Marzotto brought stable, strong, and highly reliable engine blocks that reshaped modern speedway. Today's speedway motorcycles, the 2025 era. These bikes are 500 cubic centimeter, methanol-powered, brakeless machines with brutal acceleration. They belong among the most extreme racing motorcycles in the world, built specifically for shale oval tracks. Modern speedway motorcycles, 2025 technical specifications, core technical data. Engine capacity, 500 cubic centimeters. Engine type, single cylinder, 4-stroke. Fuel, 100% methanol. Power, roughly 75 to 85 horsepower. Maximum RPM, 11,000 to 13,000. Transmission, single speed, direct drive. Brakes, none, completely brakeless design. Weight, around 77 to 80 kilograms race ready. Acceleration, 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in under 3 seconds. Top speed, about 110 to 130 kilometers per hour, depending on the track. Special components. Frame, ultralight chromolybdenum steel. Tires designed specifically for shale with a rib pattern. Suspension, rear shock absorber, minimal front fork. Clutch, manual, multi-plate, dry clutch. Starting method, external starting device, push start system. Manufacturers and types. Jawa, Czech Republic, classic and modern models. GM, Giuseppe Marzotto, Italy dominant in the GP series. Stuha, Poland new technological developments. All GP engines follow strict FIM regulations, ensuring unified technical standards. Interesting facts. Speedway bikes have no brakes. Riders control the machine only with throttle clutch and body position. Methanol fuel cools the engine, increases efficiency, but is highly flammable. After every race, engines are taken apart, inspected, and retuned. Precision is essential. Speedway tuning. The development of a speedway bike follows a completely different logic compared to traditional race motorcycles. Because there are no brakes and no gearbox, every small modification improves acceleration, control, and handling. Pushing the bike to react instantly, delivering raw speed, explosive launch power, and the split-second advantage that decides victory on the shale. First area, the engine block and the cylinder head. Porting, polishing, refining the airflow channels. Precise adjustment of the valves and timing. Higher compression, ideal for methanol, delivering a serious power boost. Second area, ignition and carburation. Fine-tuning the ignition timing. Carburetors optimized specifically for methanol. Modern, reliable electronic ignition, providing cleaner, more stable combustion. Third area, the exhaust and cooling. Adjusting exhaust resonance. Optimizing flow. Extra cooling solutions because tuned methanol engines run extremely hot. Fourth area, the frame and the drivetrain. Fine-tuning the chain ratio. Lightweight components. A special, fast-reacting clutch, giving a decisive advantage at the start. Fifth area, fuel and lubrication. Methanol tuning with consistent octane stability. Special oils and additives for durability under extreme load. Sixth area, tires and chains. Instead of early universal tires, modern bikes use special, shale-designed speedway tires. Reinforced chains because 75 to 85 horsepower puts enormous stress on the drivetrain. Seventh area, handling and ergonomics. Adjustable footrests. A smoother, lighter clutch action. Vibration damping and minimalist, essential-only instruments. Eighth area, modern workshop technology. There's no onboard data logging, but temperature and oil monitoring tools exist. Engine stands, rapid wheel change systems. Everything that helps the team keep the bike performing at its absolute maximum. In Speedway, the goal is not top speed. It's insane, explosive acceleration and perfect machine control. Because where there are no brakes, every decision, every setup, and every movement truly matters. Speedway tires, the evolution from grip to pure performance. In the early days, Speedway bikes were running on simple street bike tires, cut and modified for the track. They wore out fast, offered little grip, and couldn't handle the extreme stress of a shale surface. Then the revolution began. Special Speedway tires appeared, led by manufacturers like methanol. These tires were designed specifically for FIM-regulated shale tracks. Wider contact surface, optimized carcass structure, and brutal cornering grip with explosive acceleration. Modern rubber compounds focus on one thing: uncompromised traction. Speedway tires are completely treadless, so they can literally bite into the loose shale. And global manufacturers like Speedways now produce tires with decades of experience behind them, delivering high durability, stability, and the kind of acceleration only Speedway demands. AK. Speedway chains, the story of transferring brutal power. In the early days, Speedway bikes were running with regular steel chains. They stretched, they snapped, and they simply couldn't handle the explosive power that a Speedway bike delivers. Modern race chains, however, play in a completely different league. Lightweight, high-tensile alloys, precision manufacturing that reduces friction, nickel, titanium, and special coatings that extend chain life. And built purely for racing, shorter lifespan, maximum performance. Today's chains aren't designed for durability, but for the explosive transfer of power. That's what allows the bike to achieve terrifying acceleration and stable cornering speed on a loose shale track. The culture of Speedway fans. In Britain, it feels like a true family day, friendly, relaxed, yet full of tradition. In Scandinavia, supporters are disciplined but deeply passionate, watching in silence, then celebrating with pure energy. In Poland, Speedway is a national sport. Stadiums are packed, 20, 30, even 50,000 fans. Drums, flags, pyrotechnics, and unbreakable club loyalty, all creating one of the most powerful, most intense atmospheres in motorsport. Where to buy Speedway tickets. International, reliable sources, briefly and clearly. First place, FIM Speedway, official ticket portal. You can safely buy tickets here for all Grand Prix rounds. Website, fimspeedway.com/buy-tickets. Here is the full GP calendar. Germany, Czechia, Great Britain, Poland, Sweden, Latvia, Denmark, and many more. Secure, easy purchase, seating categories. Warner Bros. Discovery Sports backing ensures reliability.
We await the green light.
Second place, Ticketmaster and local ticket partners. Some major stadiums, Manchester, Turin, Wrocław. Tickets are available via Ticketmaster and through local partners. E-tickets, secure payment, official resale options. Third place, USA. NASCAR and Daytona International Speedway. This is no longer Speedway Grand Prix, but oval track car racing. Still one of the world's largest speedway ticket networks. The NASCAR.com and Daytona Speedway platforms cover the full American Speedway ticket supply. Key takeaway: if you are looking for tickets to a Speedway World event, the FIM Speedway official site is the largest and most secure source. British, Polish, and Scandinavian stadiums often sell tickets via Ticketmaster or their own club websites. We hope you enjoyed our video and explored the history of Speedway. We showed how the bikes evolved over the years, introduced the legendary history, the key events, and the unique culture of the sport. We shared many interesting facts that may have been hidden from the general audience until now. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share the video with your friends. This way, you won't miss the next exciting episodes. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you in the next video.